Good evening, class. Welcome to Revise with Mwalimu. We're going to look at the play Adult's House by Henrik Ibsen. We're going to look at the various themes that are present in the play Adult's House by Henrik Ibsen. It's great to have you in this class, and in this session we're going to address questions that are related to themes in the play Adult's House by Henrik Ibsen. Examination tips is our next part, and we're going to look at various exam tips that are going to help us to answer questions that are related to these set books, especially Adult's House, and the themes that we have discussed. First, let us look at the tips. Read the question carefully. You have an examination. The first question is an essay question that is related specifically to Adult's House. What do? You read the question carefully. You could read it severally. Number two, identify the keywords in the question. After identifying the keywords in the question, they are going to help you interpret. They are going to help you produce points of interpretation. And after interpreting it, then you're going to now understand what the objective of the question is. Produce supporting evidence from the text to qualify each claim you make. That is, as you go on answering the questions. Answer the question and make sure you produce supporting evidence from the text itself to back up or to qualify each claim that you're going to make. Remember, the objective is to bring out the moral lesson, and finally keep glancing at the question to remind you of the objective. This is what your essay should have: an introduction, 4 points clearly explained with supporting evidence, and a conclusion. An introduction, 4 points, each point in its own paragraph, and a conclusion. Use paragraph link and connectors for well-structured sentences. This is the examiner's focus area: an acceptable interpretation, a linguistic mark, and more than 450 words attract a mark. How are marks allocated? Well, this is how. Total marks are 20. The introduction earns you 2 marks. That is a well-explained introduction or a well-put framed introduction. The body earns you 12 marks. That is 4 points. The 4 points, each point earns 3 marks. That is 3 marks for each point. Conclusion earns you 2 marks, and the language used earns you 4 marks. Remember to use paragraph links and connectors. If you have a question, kindly address it in the Q&A section. Let's get into KCSE question styles. How are questions set in the KCSE way? Question number 1, we're now going to apply all the tips that we've had or discussed as we answer this question. Question number 1, discuss the theme of love and marriage as presented by Henrik Ibsen in the play Adult's House, 20 marks. How has the theme of love and marriage been presented in the play Adult's House? Introduction part. There are many themes in the play. Among them are themes of love and marriage. They have been discussed as follows. So this is just a brief introduction. It's more of preparing the examiner or the person who's going to read your work that the theme of love and marriage has been discussed in the points. Point number 1, Nora and Torvald are in a marriage and appear to be happy through those scenes at the beginning. The impact becomes more apparent with time. So we find that with time, they find out that it's not really love that kept them together. So it's a marriage. At the beginning, they're very happy, but as time moves on, we find that they were not meant to be together. Point number 2, The love Nora has for her husband makes her borrow a huge sum of money for the sake of his help. The marriage, women are not expected to do transactions without the husbands. So Nora loves him very much. This is in when she decides to take or borrow a huge sum of money for the sake of her husband's help. She did that without anybody's consent. And in that society, women were not allowed to make transactions of money without letting their husbands know. So this is now love that is presented here. Also, we have many forms of love in the play: familial, maternal, paternal, between Krogstad and Mrs. Lind. There are different types of love: love between parents and their children, children loving their parents. We also love. We also have love from both sides, the parents of the characters. For example, Nora's father. There is also a romantic love between Krogstad and Mrs. Lind, which was hoped to lead into marriage, but did not due to various reasons. For example, Krogstad didn't have enough money, which Mrs. Lind wanted at that time. Point number 4, Nora's marriage, even though not governed by necessity, has many strict rules that have been dictated by the society on different husband and wife roles. Nora has to obey her husband, Torvald, and allow him to make decisions. So now this is a presentation of marriage. We have many rules governing marriage in that society, and also different roles that have been presented by the society to the husband and to the wife. Nora has to obey her husband and be submissive to him and allow him to make decisions in that family. Conclusion: marriage is an important institution in the society. Any individual, especially men, with a successful marriage is said to have made it. Strong marriage is built on love, and it's just a summary. It's just a summary of what everything in your answers or in your points in the body of your essay talked about.